Well, hello everyone. Here to show you the study satellite part two. Coloring right here. As you see right here, as I went ahead and drew, you say on from a, you say from the other, the other, for part one is that I went ahead and I colored in is like what you call it's like the satellites, and all I want to talk about with telephone, telephone say technology. But then of course another thing, of course I did not mention, of course was GPS, technology is like what you call is like a that if you were to see here, use the pen right here, for global, it's like the word global, I guess. See global. Say global. Say position satellite. If it's a see position. It's like for a pen, it's like knowing about what type of ink that it uses to be able to write. But other than that is talking about is it you have right here is like for satellite. But anyway, yeah, you got right there with that with satellite. But anyway, that the way they're talking about with the future of technology is that talking about is that basically a pen. You say that a pen kind of like this that more likely that will give us the opportunities like in the next. More likely we would maybe ask ourselves that maybe in the next what do we think that the next step of technology would be maybe in the next maybe 10 or 15 years from now, maybe another 50 years from now, 40 or 50 years from now, that more likely I keep thinking that maybe the possible next step of technology or more likely be is that you would be able to buy a satellite that you can bring home with you. You'll be able to bring home with you, and that you'll be able to order it online, or what you call it, or buy it at the store or something like that. Be able to get one for your own home, and with the satellite here is even during the power outage, and a lot of times we could probably think about is like the study about that is technology is knowing about how say maybe how a graphic calculator of course is built and how it's made. Of course is that you have right here is like what the graph is knowing about exactly about how you work all these buttons. And there probably people probably say with the especially with the remote control, they're probably wondering about is that if it's from especially if it's going to be in another language or something like that, that more likely you're probably thinking about is that really that with all the from what you learned in school, it's like if it's all these buttons right here, one that we could change a channel, one you can open up the program menu or anything like that. If you were to have satellite TV, or if you were to have any type of a programming cable TV, it is knowing about is that there's the stuff that you normally need to learn about that new stuff. And a lot of times people probably think about with new stuff is if it's either new stuff with new stuff, or if it's what you call is stuff that you're not familiar with. See, it's like if you're not familiar with it, if you're not say familiar with it with that new stuff, that more likely that knowing about the it's like you may have used something before or something like that. But on the other hand too is knowing about really. I really would not even know really what I'm talking about. Hey, I'm just using crayons and markers right here just to really talk about this. But on the other hand too, that we can probably think about is like maybe like the president would say is talking about is future, our future, our technology in the future. It's like what we need to is like the chances of studying about really about how it works, and then knowing about how we can use it. Besides automobiles, that they're thinking about is like a device like this that you can they could be maybe built into maybe a camera, or maybe a TV, or a computer, a laptop, or maybe a cell phone, a smartphone, iPhone 5 or something like that. It may already be built in, but of course it's something like about this size that you will be able to use anywhere, say on the planet, and that would be able to work. And then of course have it to where you have like a say laser technology, which laser technology kind of like this, to where that You probably think about it, it's like, really, I don't even know what this laser right here is used for on a flashlight. But then of course you got the flashlight, you probably know it with the flashlight pointing at, anywhere you want to see where you have light right here. It's like if you're reading something on the graphic calculator, doing your homework or whatever. But then what the laser right here is talking about is knowing about, hey, it's like, well, if you really, if you want something that you can draw a straight line with, it's like, draw a straight line, at least try to draw a straight line, that you had that to use. But other than that, is that talking about with future technology is knowing about the technology that we are using now, and then of course what's to come later on in the future. But other than that, is talking about with the study satellite, with the GPS, and then along with a few other things, is like talking about, it's like for our future studies, is knowing about studies, like knowing using a magnifying glass. It's like, really, we don't know. It's like